As 2019 has come to an end, I'm gonna give you my top 5 favorite films of this year.
4 are from masters, and 1 is from 2 new filmmakers. This list is not really in order, but I will give my 2 favorite films of this year last. In number 5, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Tarantino's magnum opus, his playtime of sorts. A film that surrenders traditional narrative cinema for an exploration through a completely and meticulously crafted world of Hollywood of 1969. Tarantino's love letter to Hollywood is possibly not for everyone, but definitely for those that love older films and Hollywood history in general. Just to say something profound about this film that hasn't been already said, I particularly admired Tarantino's total dedication to authenticity of recreating this world of Hollywood of 1969. From the obvious things of physically rebuilding entire streets of Hollywood to smaller things like getting Sony to strike a new 35mm print of The Wrecking Crew, the film that Sharon Tate watches in the Bruin Theater, just as it would have looked and felt like in '69. Using original posters and lobby cards instead of digital reprints in the cinema foyers as well as inside the Polanski and Tate house. And, as with the case of Rick Dalton's fake films, shooting their segments on Kodak Ektachrome film, which Tarantino specifically used in order to mimic the sharp and vibrant look of the colors of Ibibishan Technicolor, the historic dye transfer color printing process, practically impossible to revive today, and what the 14 Fists of McCluskey would have been printed on. Also, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was possibly the most beautifully shot Tarantino film for me. And what a performance Brad Pitt gave, and what a character of Cliff Booth. Definitely one of Pitt's best characters of his career. I loved how this was Tarantino's one-day film, or in this case, 3-day film, as the entire film happens in a period of 3 days. Also, the way the film was written and the way it plays out, you are expecting something to happen. The film hints that something sinister is coming, and then it finally comes, what we were all waiting for. That insane, explosive conclusion in which the audience's tension is finally released. Just like in the greatest of these kind of one-day films, such as the earthquake at the end of Robert Altman's Shortcuts, or the frog shower at the end of Magnolia. Next we have Haunt, a surprisingly terrific horror film written and directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods, the writers of John Krasinski's A Quiet Place, and produced by Eli Roth. Haunt took the prototype of Tobe Hooper's The Funhouse and did it right. This film was about a group of friends who go to a mysterious out-of-the-way haunted house on Halloween night, and slowly, as they engage in the playful, sinister attractions within, they start to realize that it might all be real. Haunt was like a mix of Hostel and Saw with The Funhouse, and it was a hell of a ride. A really awesome film that took you on a real thrill ride that becomes more and more dark as it goes along. It had a brilliant script and a terrific way of keeping you in suspense due to the ambiguity of whether all this is pretend or real. If you like horror films set in one place, I strongly recommend checking this one out. My next pick is Woody Allen's A Rainy Day in New York. Another one-day movie, being one of my favorite type of films. Stars Timothée Chalamet and Elle Fanning, who spend a wild weekend in Manhattan, both running into one adventure to the next. A typical great Woody Allen film. Great performances, a great script full of wit and humor and cultural and artistic references being thrown around. A really fantastic film and a lot of fun. And now for my 2 favorite films of 2019. First we have Noah Baumbach's Marriage Story. Marriage Story is Baumbach's second autobiographical film after The Squid and the Whale. This one was about his long and difficult divorce from his then wife, Jennifer Jason Leigh. Marriage Story was a masterpiece. Probably Baumbach's best film along with The Squid and the Whale. Just like Kenneth Lonergan's Manchester by the Sea, possibly the best film of 2016, Marriage Story was also a reflection of life. Both warm and sweet, with hilarious moments, but also very heavy and heartbreaking at the same time. Marriage Story was filled with moments that any audience can relate to because it was a picture about people, making the picture fully immersive and engaging. Baumbach perfectly captured the nuances of human beings.
outstanding performances from Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver, and a scene that I will never forget. Also, it had amazing supporting characters that were perfectly cast. In fact, can you guys think of an autobiographical film of a director that is not amazing? I mean, we have Louis Malle's Murmur of the Heart, Fellini's Amarcord, Paul Mazursky's Next Stop Greenwich Village, Baumbach's own The Squid and the Whale, as well as Marriage Story Now. Every autobiographical film of a director I can think of is just flat out incredible. The other best film of 2019 for me was Bong Joon-ho's Palme d'Or winning, outrageous black comedy sensation, Parasite. Bong's new masterpiece was super fun, satirical, engaging, and wild. It had a terrific and witty script, fantastic acting, the impotence and ruthless determination of the Ki-taek family trying to squeeze into the opulent payroll of the parks was a joy to watch. Parasite had brilliant direction by Bong Joon-ho, beautiful cinematography, and a fantastic soundtrack. In fact, every element of Parasite was fantastically executed. Also, the twist midway in the picture was such a powerful shocker that gave the plot totally new movement, suspense, thrill, and outrageous violence, making Parasite my other pick masterpiece of 2019. So those were my 5 favorite films of 2019. If you want to watch my full reviews to most of these films, I'll put links to them in the description below. What are your 5 favorite films of this year? Do you agree with my list? I'd love to read about it in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please give us a like and subscribe to not miss exciting content coming out every Friday. A happy new year to you all, and see you next week.